We're about to go the fuck off. Yo, okay. Hold up. Goddamn note-taking app tier list maker. Let's go. Okay. All right. Starting off with Vim. Vim, I actually haven't really used Vim as a note-taking mechanism. I've only used it as a programmer, and it's really hard to learn with a huge learning curve. And I think that right now, people who use Vim are faster technically because they don't have to move to the mouse, but they also lose pretty much everything that VSC gives them. So I'm going to put it in D for cope. Emacs, I don't know anything about Emacs cope. I know that it was like the first kind of like regular editor, so that's like really cool. So maybe a C, but definitely Vim would be better than Emacs. So I'm going to say D actually. Evernote is like, I think, the quintessential note-taking app. B. It's just like, to me, they do actually A for sure. Evernote really changed the game. I really read a piece about Evernote where they were talking about Evernote's history, and I think it was just like wild to hear about like what happened to their CEO, and how the company has changed from like, we will make sure that you don't forget anything. Evernote actually might be S tier. The more that I'm thinking about it, all of the plugins and what Evernote did for note taking when note taking came out, I think Evernote just is just amazing. Bear. I'm gonna actually have to make another list. Wait, hold on. How do I add a row below for? Yeah, cool. And then I'm gonna rename this to IDK because I don't know. I've never used it. So Bear is just, I like Bear's simplicity, but I just don't think it's that good. Like it's simple and it provides markdown, which makes it a B to me, like a high B for Bear. I have no idea what this is. Google Keep. Oh my god. Google Keep is trash. I've never liked Google Keep. Google Keep might actually literally be F tier. I don't know. Google Keep, I think that Google Keep probably has a few hitters who really like Google Docs, but that's because they like Google Docs. They don't actually like Google Keep. They like Google Docs. And they use Google Keep because it's related to Google Docs. So D tier. I don't know what this one is either. There's a lot of note-taking apps I apparently don't know. This one. Look. I'm obviously biased. This is an Obsidian-based stream. I'm going to be using Obsidian for 90% of the workflow on this stream, but I think that Obsidian is, and I'm going to talk about Notion and Roam too, and Simplenote too, actually. Apple Notes. Obsidian is just an app that, when you really kind of get into it, and I think that people would say this about any note-taking app on this list, by the way, because usually the people who find their app get an unlock to kind of like their creativity that they didn't know that they could have. So I think that when people find their app, they just really double, triple, quadruple down on it. The reason that I think Obsidian is probably the one that's worth most double, tripling, quadrupling down on is A, the amazing community. The community is extremely active, creating a ton of plugins. It's a relatively low bar to actually make a new plugin and then get it shipped into production. And it like gives people a bunch of creativity. I've seen so much creativity come out of the Obsidian community. The app itself just works, right? It's one of those kind of like Apple philosophies where you just kind of open it and you're like, oh, it just works. Like, I've never really kind of had a note-taking software where I felt confident that it would sync between all my devices, be marked down first, be local as much as I need to be local, switch between online, be able to search it super fast, be able to tag things, be able to relate those tags to each other, be able to use wiki links to store images, to be able to use Excalidraw. Like, there's so many things that I've done in Obsidian that I just can't do in any other piece of software. And that includes the internet, that includes Google Visual Studio Code. It's the GOAT. I don't know. It's an app that I can't live without now. And I think that that's that's interesting to think about, right? Like when my whole day is kind of shaped around all of the bottom up stuff that I'm going to be placed into Obsidian, it really kind of starts to influence not even just how I think about my day, but influence the direction of the day. So I think it's just really, it's an extremely powerful note-taking app, and those who use it, I think, become smarter and more powerful. And I've seen people have a lot of work, get a lot of value from it as a work journal. I've used it as a work journal, and I've used it to show to my contracts and stuff like that. And most of the time, people are just completely floored by how organized Obsidian can be, even though it's a bottom-up experience. So you build the organization as you go. The organization isn't hoisted upon you like some other apps, and it's so, I think that's maybe the best way of putting it. Obsidian is simple as Bear, but as featureful and more as Evernote, because it moves a lot quicker. So it's like you have Bear's simplicity of just like, oh, I just want to write a note, but then you also have the full featured Evernote plus Roam Research, which we'll get to at the end. Anyway, rant over. Get Obsidian. Shit slaps. Simplenote is an A. Simplenote, the way that you can move between Windows and Mac and iPhone and Android on Simplenote is also just super simple. Literally, like I said, I think the thing that holds Simplenote back is its ability to not be fully featured. If you need a really simple app, Simplenote is definitely great. It's kind of like what would happen if Apple Notes worked on every single device that you have. I don't know what this is either. All these down here make the general assumption that I don't like them or dislike them. I just have never used them, and I don't feel comfortable enough to comment on them. I'm sure they might be great apps, but I don't know anything about them enough, even though this is the note-taking app tier list. So I'd be under the assumption that I tried out a lot of these, and I have tried out half of them. So Apple Notes, look, Apple Notes is a classic. It comes on everyone's phone. It's a solid B tier. It might even be a C tier. There are some features that I think are cool in Apple Notes. Like, they've added a lot of stuff with handwriting and OCR and stuff, but that's actually really cumbersome to use. So I'm going to give it a C. It's the app that people open where they record the book title that you said while you're at the club, and they're never going to open again. So that's what Apple Notes is for. It's for recording when someone says like, oh, you should read this book, and then never being touched again. Don't know what this one is. Again, not pro or con. I could move this up above C if it would make people happy. Basically, I have no opinion of the IDK row. I just don't know anything about it. Notion's an S for sure. I think Notion is so huge for so many people's creativity. I use Notion for the longest time. I think I still pay for Notion, even though I haven't used Notion in ever since I pretty much like became a consistent Obsidian user. But Notion's great. I mean, like the way that they handle tables, the way that they handle the pages are beautiful in Notion, and it's really cool. I think Notion is a very powerful tool. It syncs very well. People like it in team situations. I think one of the vectors that I haven't talked about is teams, and the only ones that I would really trust for teams on here are Evernote and Notion. Like I said, I don't know anything about the IDK row, but everything else is like a singular experience, like a single player experience. You can kind of make Obsidian a little bit of a team player by using Obsidian Git or something like that, and then having multiple people download it and run their own workspace. But it's not really a team player. It's a single player that's just built up to 1 million. These two can be team players, and I think that this one is the best team player on the list so far. iAWriter, it's a B or a C. iAWriter is like Bear, but like a little bit less bearish on Bear. I think I'm more bearish. Wait. Is bullish or bearish the good one? Whatever the good one is, I'm that for Bear, and I'm not that for iAWriter. I think iAWriter is too expensive for the value proposition that they offer. It's good for people who like writing scripts, I've heard. This one I've seen. I think it's Scrivener, but I'm not exactly sure, and I don't have my second monitor, so I can't check. but I think I'm going to put it in the IDK, even though I think that I've heard good things about this one. That logo looks super familiar. Ulysses is very popular. C tier. It's just, I don't know. I tried Ulysses a little bit, I think back in like 2015, and I was like, what the hell is going on? There were so many features, and I didn't know what was going on. I was just way too confused. Notability. This is another one that actually I've used, but I think I'm going to put in the IDK tier. Like, I just really don't know. I don't really remember anything about using this. So I'm going to say IDK tier. Same with this one. No idea. Okay, look, Microsoft OneNote. A very popular, this is even OneNote. The problem with Microsoft is that all of their logos look exactly the same. So you never have any idea if you're actually looking at the app that you think you're looking at. But if this is OneNote, then I would say OneNote is a B, probably above iAWriter. Because OneNote, actually, even probably above Bear. I don't think this is OneNote, so I think it's less than Bear. But it has the same color scheme as OneNote, I think, too. This one, I also don't know what this one is. This one, I don't know what this one is. So a lot of note-taking apps I haven't used. Maybe there's one in here that would change my life forever. Obviously, I'm an Obsidian ride or die. But here's an interesting case. So Obsidian versus Roam, right? In terms of what... how do I get it out? Hold on. I don't want it. Okay, I'll put it at the top of IDK while I talk about it. Roam research was, I think, if memory serves, the first in the new note-taking era of the Zettelkasten kind of space. And if you follow the work of people like Tiago Forte and Cal Newport, if you're in the kind of personal knowledge management space like I am, you'll get a lot of polarized opinions around Roam research. Roam research has been built from the top down in a very, very specific way. I think that it's really good at what it does, but it got really outshined by LogSeq and Obsidian due to the business model of the creator. I think the creator's personality outshone the project itself and didn't allow the software to flourish. I've had a number of friends move from Roam Research to Obsidian and are much the happier for it. And pretty much anyone who's moved from any of these apps to Obsidian is happier for it, except maybe the Evernote crew, because Evernote and Notion, like I said, are also very full featured. But I just think that Roam Research is, okay, how about I put it like this? Roam Research is S tier for what it stands for and what it does, but it's D tier because of its leadership and how cultish it's become. And not even in a good way. I mean, Obsidian is super cultish too, don't get me wrong, but like the cult of Roam is a cult of personality versus the cult of Obsidian, which is a cult of obsession. And those two things are very different. So I honestly am going to have to give it a C. I think, again, S tier for what it does and D tier for the leadership. So yeah, I don't know if there's like a community rank I could see. Oh, look at this. So this dude also did it, and he said that Notion, Roam, and Obsidian were S, and this one, who I don't know, iAWriter and Bear were A. Apple Notes he gave an A, probably because of the classic nature of Apple Notes. Simplenote he gave a B. That's pretty surprising. Don't know. Evernote is a B. That's crazy. I would have given Evernote an S because I think Evernote was first in class in a lot of ways. Don't know. Also agree. Probably C. Don't know. Wait, where did he put Vim? Didn't he put Vim on this list? Am I missing it? Yeah. So I think that this guy and I, we kind of agree. We're in the same kind of boat here.